Have you ever known exactly what you wanted to eat, but felt nervous about ordering in English? Today we're talking about ordering food, and you'll learn useful words and expressions that can help you feel more confident the next time you're in a restaurant. Emma, let me ask you something. Have you ever looked at a restaurant menu and felt overwhelmed by all the choices?
Oh, definitely. Sometimes there are so many dishes that I don't know where to start.
That's a very common experience, and that's why today's lesson is useful. We'll focus on the language people use when ordering food.
Great. Where should we begin?
Let's start with a word you'll often hear in restaurants: appetizer. An appetizer is a small dish you eat before the main meal.
So if I order soup before my steak, the soup could be an appetizer?
Exactly. Many people order an appetizer to start their meal.
That's an easy word to remember.
Here's another useful one: entrée. An entrée is the main dish of the meal.
Wait, so the appetizer comes first, and then the entree?
That's right. For example, you might have a salad as an appetizer and grilled chicken as your entrée.
That makes sense.
Now imagine you're ready to order. The server asks, "What would you like today?"
I could say, I'd like the chicken entree, please.
Perfect. Simple and natural.
What if I want to know more about a dish?
Then you might ask about the ingredients or the flavor. Flavor means the taste of a food.
So if a dish is spicy or sweet, that's part of its flavor?
Exactly. You could ask, "What kind of flavor does this sauce have?"
That's a useful question.
Here's another restaurant word: refill. A refill is another serving of a drink after you've already finished the first one.
So if my glass is empty, I could ask, could I get a refill, please?
Exactly. That's a very common request in many restaurants.
Nice. I can definitely use that one.
Now let's talk about making changes to an order. Sometimes you want something extra.
Like extra cheese on a pizza.
Exactly. In that situation, you can use the phrasal verb add on. To add on something means to include an extra item.
So I could say, can I add on extra cheese?
Perfect.
That sounds very natural.
It does. Now let's imagine you can't decide what to order.
That happens more often than I'd like to admit.
Then you might ask the server for a suggestion, or you might narrow down your choices.
What does narrow down mean?
Great question. Narrow down is a phrasal verb that means reduce the number of options.
So if I'm choosing between 10 dishes and then only 2, I've narrowed down my choices.
Exactly right.
That's useful not just in restaurants, but in many situations.
Absolutely. Good phrasal verbs often work in different contexts.
We've learned some useful words already. Is there another restaurant word we should know?
Yes, let's learn reservation. A reservation is an arrangement to save a table for a future time.
Like calling a restaurant and asking for a table at 7 o'clock.
Exactly. You might say, "I have a reservation under Emma."
That's something travelers hear all the time.
Very true.
Sometimes I worry about making mistakes when speaking English in a restaurant.
Many learners feel that way. That's why I want to teach an idiom today: get the ball rolling.
I've heard that expression before. What does it mean?
To get the ball rolling means to start an activity or begin a process.
How would that work in a restaurant?
Imagine you're nervous. You could start with a simple question like, "What's your most popular dish?" That helps get the ball rolling and makes the conversation easier.
I like that idea. You don't need to know every word. You just need to start.
Exactly. Once the conversation begins, confidence often grows naturally.
That's encouraging.
Let's walk through a complete example.
Sounds good.
You arrive at a restaurant and tell the host, "I have a reservation under Emma."
Then I'm seated and looking at the menu.
The server asks if you'd like something to start.
I might say, yes, I'd like an appetizer.
Great! Then the server asks if you're ready for your main dish.
Yes, I'd like the chicken entree, please.
Perfect. Then you want extra sauce.
Can I add on extra sauce?
Exactly. Later, your drink is empty.
Could I get a refill, please?
Excellent.
That conversation feels much easier when it's broken into small pieces.
That's the key. Most restaurant conversations are made up of short, simple exchanges.
What should learners remember most?
First, learn a few common restaurant words. Second, use simple phrases when ordering. Third, don't be afraid to ask questions.
And if you're nervous, remember to get the ball rolling with a simple question.
Exactly. You don't need perfect English. You just need enough English to communicate.
That's a great message.
Before we move on, let's quickly review what we've learned. We talked about appetizer, entrée, flavor, refill, and reservation.
We also learned the phrasal verbs add on and narrow down.
And we learned the idiom get the ball rolling.
Great! Now it's time for a quick practice activity to help those new expressions stick.
Let's see how much everyone remembers.
What is an appetizer? What is an entrée? If you ask for a refill, what do you want? What does narrow down mean? What does get the ball rolling mean?
Nice work! If you remembered those answers, you're already building useful restaurant English.
And if some of them were difficult, that's okay. Learning happens through repetition.
Let's do one final recap. Use common restaurant vocabulary, ask questions when you need help, and don't be afraid to make simple requests.
Remember the words appetizer, entrée, flavor, refill, and reservation.
And keep practicing add on, narrow down, and the idiom get the ball rolling.
The next time you order food in English, you'll be much more prepared.
Thanks so much for listening today. This is Sophia, and I hope you enjoyed learning with us.
And I'm Emma. Thank you for spending time with us and practicing your English.
If you enjoyed this lesson, be sure to subscribe for more everyday English conversations.
Keep practicing, keep speaking, and we'll see you next time. Take care and happy learning.